Okay, we're live. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys, to introduce you all to Virginia today. Welcome, Virginia, to the
Hi.
stage of Overwhelm Solution for Moms.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so happy you're here. And just to tell our moms a little bit about you, you are a mom to a 4-year-old, very big personality, high energy boy
Yeah.
who is fantastic and brilliant, and also married to your partner, your husband, and you are stepmom to two teenagers,
Yeah.
19 and 15.
15.
Okay. Okay. And living in the one of the coolest places, living in Austin. Are you still in Austin?
I'm
Yeah.
still in Austin.
Okay. All right. So welcome. Today, I've asked Virginia to come in so that we can chit chat and open up our conversation to all of you, which is such a treat because Virginia went through my program, which is a 12-week intensive, Awakened Motherhood, to eliminate the anxiety overwhelm loop now 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to check back in after the 3-year mark, although we've stayed in touch and have checked in. So I kind of know what you've been up to. And today we're going to look at, first of all, where you were before we met, before you reached out to me, why you reached out for help and what it is that you're looking for. And then where you are today and what's moved for you and what kind of miracles you've created in your life. So super, super excited for this conversation. So let's just begin with, I kind of can't wait to talk about where you are now, but let's go back and just turn back the clock 3 years. And I remember our conversation very clearly and where I was when we had it and what was going on with you. I would love to kind of open that door back into what it felt like to be in your life then and in your body with your son, your very young son at that time,
Yeah.
and what it was like for you then.
Yeah. My son was 1 when I started, or I think maybe just about to be 1 when I started Awakened Motherhood. And if I had to explain what my life was like back then, it was just survival mode all the way. I was on like continuous loops of overwhelm, meltdowns. I felt like everything was happening to me and that I didn't have control over anything in my life, really. I always knew that it was part of my divine purpose to become a mother, but I couldn't understand why it was so hard. Like, I thought to myself, like, maybe I was wrong. Like, maybe I wasn't supposed to be a mom, or maybe I'm doing this wrong. And um, that was really hard because I felt like I couldn't like grasp motherhood the way that I saw other people doing it. People made it look really easy and really fun, and it wasn't like that for me. It was really hard and like challenging all the time. And people just, at least people in my circle, like weren't really talking about how hard motherhood was. Nobody really talks about how you resent your partner or how things from your childhood come up and you have to face how you want to deal with situations with your child and you don't know how. People don't really talk about just how stressful it is and demanding it is, and how you haven't brushed your teeth since yesterday. Like people just don't really talk about that stuff. And so I was like, I'm doing this wrong. Like I obviously can't handle this. Which is sad, right? Because I wanted to enjoy motherhood. I just didn't really, I felt like something just wasn't right. What else? I took notes.
It's so amazing, isn't it? That point that you're making, that these are the things that so many women experience and feel and then feel shame about. They don't talk about
Totally.
it. And compare themselves to other people who look glossy on the outside, who have remembered to brush their teeth or whatever the thing is, brush their hair, taking a shower,
Yeah.
because especially in those early days, everything is so overwhelming and And that's when we met, when you were in a place of feeling like it should feel more natural to me.
Yeah.
It should feel, I had this vision of the kid I would have, and then I had this kid, and that happens a lot to people.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it might be helpful for people if you say a little bit more about um, during that time. Do you remember what you had tried or things that you had tried to break through that feeling or to get in control?
Yeah. I definitely tried therapy. You maybe I should disclose that this was also the first year of COVID. So like talk about like already struggle busing on motherhood, but then, the whole world is in panic mode. So I was really, really stressed out
Yeah.
and just like very fearful and very stressed. And I did try therapy, but it was mostly like talk therapy, right? And I think
Mhm.
it was helpful to some degree, but it just didn't really help me get to like the root issues of things that I was experiencing. Um, I also did start taking medication to kind of help take the edge off my anxiety.
Mhm.
And that has helped as well. But again, it wasn't like a solution.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a band-aid.
Sure.
So,
Sure. Yeah. Something, as you said, takes the edge off, but
yeah,
doesn't resolve what's causing the issue. And that's an important distinction.
yeah.
And bravo to you for recognizing that. So, uh, all right. So, in terms of impact, there's and this is you and everyone else who I've helped. There's the emotional crap that builds up in you when you're not able to solve the problem, but then the spilling over onto, you mentioned resentment, resenting a partner, you're not doing enough or you're not doing it the right way or whatever that looks like. But then talk about the parenting piece, so connection with your boy, or your stepkids. Like, what were you seeing there from that, like living in that fear place?
They definitely could pick up on it for sure. I don't think you'll ever forget this because I know I won't, but in my call, I know that I told you that my son wasn't even, I think he was exactly 1 and he was so little, but he was talking. He started doing that really early and he would come up to me and say, "Mama, are you happy? Are you happy?" Do you remember me telling you
I
that?
do remember that.
And that's when I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to fix this. Like I have to do something." Because my little teeny tiny child
Mhm.
knew intuitively like something was wrong. He could feel that I was not okay. So, um, a friend on my Facebook had done your program and she shared about it. And I started following Overwhelm Solution for moms, I think about for 6 months and
Nice.
kind of tinkered in there and watched some of your videos. And I just one day I was like, I think this lady can actually help me. I think
Yay.
she's the one. So that's when I reached out to you and we talked. But
I'm so glad you did, and I'm
yeah,
so glad that you listened to your inner voice when your baby, he was just a baby then, was
yeah,
able to articulate what he saw in you, and what a gift that is that you really received it,
yeah,
so that you could make a decision then that you didn't wanna feel that way, and you didn't want him to wonder if you were
yeah.
okay. So when you reached out and went through the program, and I know this was a while ago, but if you can think back to, those few months of that deep work and change and where you landed at the end, I'd love to take a peek at maybe how life changed for you then before we look at where you are now, because the
Mhm,
growth is exponential, we know. But just in that time, so what a lot of people will ask me is, what if I go back to feeling like
mhm.
what if I go back? And I try my best to articulate that that is not possible. It
It's
cannot
not.
happen. So
Yeah,
can you share a little bit about what happened for you?
yeah. I got to the end of my program and I did have a little bit of fear with graduating because I was like, can I really do this by myself without support? I doubted if I would be able to, but what you just said is totally on. You can't ever go back. Once you learn the tools and the skill set that you do in Awakened Motherhood or through Overwhelm Solution with moms, if you stay on top of that, you can't not know it. Like you just,
That's
it's
right.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's with
in
you.
you.
Yeah. So I stayed in touch with some girls that I did the program with, and we still talk every single week. It's been really helpful to keep that connection. And we remind each other, like when we're struggling, like, here's a different perspective. Like, let's look at it this way. They help me and keep me accountable. So that's been really helpful through this last couple years. But I was scared, I think, when I graduated because I didn't fully believe. I think it took me a little more time to believe and trust that I really was like the leader of my home, and that
Yeah.
I was capable of continuing on without staying in this program forever.
Yes. Yeah. So, one of the biggest outcomes that people walk away with from specifically from my work with them is self-trust, and
Yeah.
it is specific to each person. However, especially people who have had um, breakdowns of trust in their story, in
Yep.
their life before, whether that's church or whether that's family or whether that's whatever. We all
Yep.
have it. We all have some version of a story where someone broke trust with us. And when that's in there, then it's a little bit of extra work that we need to do in order to develop and really rewire what it means to trust ourselves and to prove to ourselves that we can and to be the answer to what we're looking for within within motherhood, but bigger than that. So and I remember watching that in you, and for some people it does come a little slower than others, but you still got everything you need, and we're able to continue to put that into practice to create more of what you want. So this we're doing a 30-day calm challenge in this group right now, to give people those pieces of self-awareness that are the very first step of owning your own emotional experience, which you really got that now. And I brought you in today because I wanted to show everybody that when you do that conscious work to own the truth of who you are, and as Virginia, the truth of who you are is such a light and creator. And I think you always knew you were creative, but this is just like a beautiful evolution for you of being able to say yes to what lights you up and move toward that expression. So, will you share, just give us a little view of where you are now? And I want to brag about you starting your business and really stepping into the truth of who you are. So, just share with us
Thank
something
you.
about that.
Yeah, sure. So now I'm actually a Reiki practitioner. I kind of went on like a spiritual journey this past year, and we do learn about energy a little bit in Awakened Motherhood, but once I became a Reiki practitioner, I was like, oh my gosh, I know all of, like, it was like everything just kept coming back to me. Like, I know all of this. I already know that I am the captain of my own ship, and I'm only in control of myself. I can't control my husband or my kids, really. I mean, I'm responsible for them, but I can't control who they are. I can't
Mhm.
control what I want them to do or how I want them to be. Um, so that's really different now. And each person in my family knows that they're responsible for their own energy. Like, if my husband comes home from work and he's in a mood, I'm like, check yourself. Like
Yeah.
check your energy for real, and we
Yes.
do dry bathing in our house and, shake that.
Nice.
I do it with my son. We shake the energy off. And
Nice.
um, my little boy does affirmations.
Yay, he does.
He said to me the other day, I am only in control of my own happiness. And I'm like, that's right, buddy. No, I
Wow.
know. I was like, that's right.
He's gonna
That's
grow up
right.
and lead his people. That's exactly what we want to happen.
I know. It's so beautiful.
Look
So
at
I'm
your
like,
work. What is it like to see a reflection of yourself in him that's absolutely coming from your work?
yeah, thank you. It's just it makes me happy because I want him, like, if I knew these things when I was his age or even as a
Yeah.
teenager or a young adult, like if I could really grasp these concepts, I feel like my life would have been really different. I wouldn't change a thing, but he will be able to grow up knowing how to protect his energy and take care of it, and energetic hygiene and how to just really nurture what he needs that way, without, I don't know. I can't really put it into words, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy for him that he is like so little and he gets it.
So the
Yeah.
biggest thing that I notice in what you're sharing, which is something that I share a lot with my audience, is that when you do that healing work, self-elected, no one told you you had to do this. You didn't ask anybody's permission, if I recall. You just
Yeah.
said, I got to own this.
Yeah.
And this is my journey. And in my last moments on earth, like there's nobody who's going to take me off the hook for this. I got to be able to look in the mirror and go, I did everything I could. And that's when people sign up to Awakened Motherhood,
Yeah.
ready at that level. This is, as you know, this is not for just anybody. This is
No.
a really high level program for women who are ready to own their emotional health and to live in joy every day. And what you have done by saying, I'll do the work to that is so selfless in one respect, but also self-fulfilling in another respect, because what it means is you get to live your passion, and passion is just love. You get to live what you love, and not just in your family and by feeling like an amazing mom, but you get to see this little being who looks a lot like you walking outside of you, saying these incredible things. And you also get to live your purpose and open your doors as an energy healer, and just offer the world your gifts. And you've done it by saying no more to these patterns. And the
Yeah.
thread through everybody I work with is, if you're hearing on your heart, or it's here, if you're feeling it on your heart, sometimes it's on the back of the heart center, that heaviness that says the generational trauma ends with me,
Yeah.
then this is the place to do that work. And I just honor you for everything you've done with what you've learned, and how you've just expanded and continued um to step in bigger and bigger to your true being. It's such a beautiful thing to watch.
Thank you. The work is never done,
Yeah.
like never. And I
Never.
remember I had this moment when I finished AM. Um, I remember crying because I had snapped one day and I yelled and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get this. Like I I'm never gonna be like Buddha, like I just had this moment, like I was so hard on myself and I just heard perfection as an illusion. It's not
Good.
even real. It's not even real. And I do I I do work and self-awareness every single day. I mean,
Yep.
it's never not happening. It's
That's right.
happening all the time.
That's right.
So I guess I just want other people to know that too, because you're never going to be perfect. There's
That's right.
always things to heal and work towards, and things, ways to strive to be better today than you were yesterday. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
100%. If you could describe in a nutshell, like what it feels like to be Virginia now versus Virginia of having a 1-year-old, and not mastering your emotions, what do you think is, what do you think We already know you're not perfect, so you don't even need to say that. But say how it feels to be you and to have the knowing and the trust that you have now for yourself. What does it do for you?
I have more compassion for myself. I was really, really hard on myself, especially as a new mom. I compared myself a lot, and I felt a lot of guilt and a lot of shame about not feeling like I was doing it right. And I just give myself so much grace now. When or if I slip up, or if I have a cranky day, or snap at my husband, which happens, so it's like I just give myself grace, and I'm like, I'm human. I'm having a human experience. I've never done this before in this lifetime. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, and it's helped me lower my expectations of my family members too, because you have to remember, like, your kids, they've never done this before. Your husband, first time here with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all happening like in real time for the first time. And I think when you can just really give everybody, including yourself, like a little wiggle room, and it just softens the blow of everything, and you don't have to feel so um, stressed out about not getting it right, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I did a lot. I did a lot. I was like, I'm not getting this. I'm not doing this. But
Yes.
in
Yeah.
hindsight, I was doing so many things right, probably,
Yep. Yeah. And you're now able to you're able to accept your humanness. You're able to
Yeah.
accept your gifts too, and that Pete, like, just to again shine a light on. I talk to people all the time who have dreams, but they will never realize the dream
Yeah.
because they don't first fix what's under the hood. And when you fix what's under the hood, there is space. You have bigger capacity. You can, I mean, talk about being an energy healer. You had to really increase your capacity and your energetic boundary to be able to hold that boundary for other people and to be that channel for divine things to happen for
Yeah.
somebody else. So there's just such a beautiful story here of the consequence, the result, the gift of stepping into your light and accepting yourself for who you are and what you are while you do this work to really increase your awareness and to step into love so much more. And say how it feels to be mom now. How does it feel to be mom to the little genius?
It's really fun. Um, it's crazy. I feel like every day is an adventure. And there's just so much love. Yeah, with presence, like when you can practice being present and being with your family, and it's just there's just so much love. And it's there for you if you accept it and want it. It's there every day. So, yeah,
Thank you
it's
for
great.
sharing that. It's
It's really
beautiful.
fun. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I couldn't say it better. That's so beautiful. So, you guys who are watching live with us and then watching this replay, watching it back, we would so greatly appreciate your, first of all, hearts when you watch. Click the like button, click the hearts. And what inspires you from seeing Virginia, hearing Virginia's story? What inspires you? Take the action to really find what connected with you today, a message you heard, something that lights you up, something that shows you a desire that you have for your life. There's so much here that she shared with you, so much gold. Please give her your gratitude too for being here and sharing her light with us, and just wishing you so much more love and so much more success in your journey. And if you would like to share with anybody here, you can comment on this thread so they can see who you are once we're back in Facebook land. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for everybody who listens, and thanks for joining us. We're sending all of you so much love. Until next time.